Yeah, today's session is about it's a last hands-on session for Apex training, and we are going to discuss how we can work in Apex, DML, and SOQL in Salesforce. Introduction: This is Zain Abbas, our Cloud Junction advisors as a team lead or technical architect. Here we have Rimsha Amin, Salesforce developer, and his co-leader is Hassan Mustafa. Uh, and these guys provided me the option, or you can say, give me a chance to give these valuable sessions. Thank you both. So, the agenda for today's session is first, we're going to start with introduction to Apex. Then, we'll talk about SOQL, what is SOQL, working with DML in Apex. Then, we'll look on SOQL versus SOCL, then governor limits, and then at the end, we'll talk about some hands-on hands-on code examples, and then we'll take question and answers. So what is Apex? In easier words, you can say the programming language for Salesforce is Apex. Every you can say every product or every framework has its own language where we can write different business language and write scalable solutions. And in Salesforce, if we write custom code, use it we use Apex. It's a backend language with LWC or Aura or Visualforce as the front end framework, but the backend language or the core language is Apex in Salesforce. It's a strongly typed, object oriented programming language for Salesforce. Strongly typed and loosely typed are the language where strongly typed language is one where you have to explicitly mention the data type before initializing or declaring it. But in loosely typed language, you can just use var or a let like we use in JS or any other framework of JS. It is also object oriented programming language where it means all the concepts and basics of OOP is applied on Apex. It allows developers to add custom business logic, like if we want to, like if I talk about Apex before the invention of flows and process builders, like process builder is also retired. For the invention of flows, we only had workflow, and the to cater business logic, like to it wasn't very easy to, or the platform Salesforce was not that much capable and easy like flows. Right now we can do anything with the help of flows, and it's very easy for admins to do the work. We use Apex in that case, where we write we want a field update and we want a custom logic to be built, or we want any interface to be built on Visual Force, where the page layouts were not can say enough to show or to cater the business logic. So we frequently used to use Apex there. Its syntax is similar to Java and C Sharp. It runs on Salesforce server. It means it shares the uh, limits of working in multi-tenant architecture, and it is secure because its security is a responsibility of Salesforce. Why we use Apex in Salesforce? To automate complex processes, like if we want to run a particular business use case where we want to run or perform a chain of uh, actions after a particular event takes place. We use Apex help to automate that complex processes. It also used to work with integration with external systems. uh, in some systems we have a different, or you can say very complex custom calculations. We use Apex for that as well, and to manipulate data, anything that we cannot or it is difficult to do with any declarative tool, we use Apex. And obviously it will robust scalable applications on Salesforce using LWC or Aura or any other framework, I mean, or Visual Force to get the best UI. So we're going to talk about common data types we use in Apex, but it's not limited to only those. First, we have integer. It's uh, like Java and any other language. Then we have decimal, which hold the decimal place values as well. Then we have string, boolean, and date. But these are not the only ones. We have the date time as well. We have you can say float as well. We have long as well. We can use that. Then we have different type of collections. Like if we in every programming language where you want to manipulate the data or write the business logic, you need something to hold the values, to hold your variables, to hold your to hold your records. We use collection for that purpose. In Salesforce and Apex, we have three major types of data collection, and the fourth one is array. The first is list, sets, maps, and arrays. List is you can say list of is it's an ordered list where indexing and the index we ask to get is guaranteed. We perform different type of operations on list. The most common is we can perform DML statements on list. Then we have sets. Sets is similar to list but has some different functions and features, or you can say the use case of set is very different than list. List can hold duplicate data, but set only keeps the unique in it. It overrides any duplicate value if it comes to save. You cannot perform any DML in on sets. Like if you write you write insert statement or update statement with the set, it's not allowed. Then we have maps. Map is a combination of set and list. It's a key value pair. Like if I talk about Java, we have hash map and anything which keeps uh, the key and a value in place. Its key size is unique and it cannot contain duplicate values. And against that key, we have a value uh, to a corresponding key. Provide the key, it will give you the value stored against that key in a map. Then we have arrays. Arrays is similar to list, but the main, or you can say the difference between array and a list is its elasticity. List is elastic enough, like if you add or if you keep adding elements to the list, it will not stop. But array is can just not as elastic as list. If you define any size of an array, it will not take more elements after that defined size. That's only the major difference between arrays and a list. Then we have some statements and expressions like other programming languages. We have if, else, and else if. We have loops, like we have for loops, do loops, do while loops. Then we're going to talk about multi-tenancy in Salesforce. Salesforce stores all data in a shared multi-tenant database. That's why we have the limits in you can say saving the data in database or to retrieving the data from the database, because Salesforce stores all the data in a shared database. It's not like a different, or you can say it's not like the traditional uh, RDMS databases where we store data, where we keep designing the different tables for each customer. But in Salesforce, to keep things fast and optimized, it stores every data in a shared multi-tenant database. I know it's confusing, but I will share the next example where you can see how it stores. Uh, and the last line, instead, all records are saved in common tables organized by customer. You can see how the different tenants data are stored in Salesforce. First, we have a GUID. I mean, we don't have the access of this data. It's managed by Salesforce on their servers. First column we have of GUID. Then we have org ID, like from which tenant this data came from. Then we have object ID of that particular org ID, of which object ID this data corresponds to. And then we have a value field, Smith, 10, and red. Then we see, if we see column number, I mean row number 3 here, we can see the org ID is the same, but the object ID is different. Then we can see here row number 4, the org ID is different. It means it's this org is different than this org. That's how Salesforce storing multi-tenant data in a shared database. It's a snapshot of Salesforce databases. Data model, to perform some hands-on. We have made an example data model, some custom object in Salesforce. We'll use these custom objects later, where you perform a different SOQL or DML. We have a species object, and under that species object, we have a plant custom object. So to visualize, we have species, and species can be of different type. It's a pothos, aloe vera, or the jasmine, and each species can have one or multiply. You can say multiple objects or records of plant. Here you can visualize it in a form of ERD. Species, we have some common field like name, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, type, location, and then we have plant. Under that species, its name, its auto number, acquisition date, when we acquired it, species, you can say a master to that species record, then field last watered and last fertilized. Let me just go through it and let me show you. This is you can say particular species record of pothos. Its maximum temperature is 36 degrees Celsius, minimum is 28. Its type is shrub, and we can find it in North Carolina. Its related plant associated plant record is this one, P0005. Acquisition date was 2025. Like, we'll use those record later in the session. Then how Apex works in Salesforce. Its syntax is like similar like Java and C Sharp, and most of us we haven't touched. Like, if you talked about me, I haven't worked any other language than Salesforce as much. So the core RDMS concept I just studied in my university or in the start of my career. We have some stored procedures in SQL. So Salesforce worked in that way as well. So a developer writes Apex class or triggered, which is uncompiled. It is written on internet, passed through Apex compiler or on the Apex application server. And give me a second. And there, let me check if my internet is stable enough to share the camera. Yep,
Thank you.
no problem. If I'll feel lag, I'll just turn off the camera, okay?
Sure.
Then the uncompiled Apex will be transmitted to Apex compiler or the application server from internet. It's being handled by Salesforce. If there's any error, it will return back to the developer. Otherwise, the compiled Apex will go and perform any operation in Salesforce, like storage the data or something, and return as well. So the end user makes a request through internet. Obviously, there must be or there can be any custom Apex process written. So a request being made for internet, it runs an Apex. It hits the application server or the Apex runtime. The compiled Apex does its work, store data, and goes back result and send the result back to the end user. That's how Apex work. Next topic we have is SOQL. What is SOQL? Salesforce Object Query Language. Like any other language we want to work with data where we retrieve uh, the records from the database. And the thing we use in Salesforce, the language we have to query in Salesforce, we call SOQL. SOQL is used to query data from Salesforce object. Its syntax very much similar to SQL, but in SQL we have joins, but in Salesforce we don't have joins. We can use relationships. It returns a list of S object. What you call, what you ask, it will give you the data in a form of list usually. So here is an example of SOQL. Like I want to get name acquisition date from the custom object plant where acquisition date is greater than 2021 0101. This is a filter. Oh, and I'm asking my system to order by acquisition date and return only three of the record. So let's write this and do some hands-on in our dev org or the playground. So here we have three. We asked for name and acquisition date from plant where acquisition date is greater than 2021 first of the first month and ordered by acquisition date. So you can say the lowest acquisition date comes first. We can do as well default, so it will change the result to the different acquisition date because I've added limit. If I remove limit, you can see all the records here. Now you can see 5 records in my system and it comes on the acquisition date in descending order. If the by default filter is ascending, if I don't use it, it will return the data in ascending order for the date. You can say sixth month, first date, day first and seventh, and that's all. Mm. So we just did executing a SOQL. Then we can write SOQL with different ways. Like we can only get the count from the table we have, the count of records in our table. You can see like this example. If you perform only the socket like we did, it returns the data in the form of list. But if we ask for the count, it returns the data as an integer. Then we can use filter variable in Apex. Do that as well. I can write and especially is my, or let's do it easy, where name is, now it is only returning the data applied with the filter one. You can see I have applied name equal to P0003. So it is only returning the data. Inline socket in Apex filter variable. We can also use filter in form of list, like we want to get the data in a form of list. We can use in, if you can see the difference here, I've used equal to for only one variable. Like if I want to use the filter, if I want to use the list as a filter, I have to use in clause. Let me do that as well for you. And list of string, list name equal to new list name dot add. Oh, I'm adding one more to it. P005, and we have, I'm feeling some lag. Let me just switch the camera. And then we perform SOQL. It will be on plant underscore C, list plants, and copy that. And name in, we want to filter it on particular names. Let's do it. And debug it. Here we can see we have two different plant records. One is P003 and the other one is P005. It gets filtered on a list, and we use in rotation to apply filter on lists. Let's go back to session. What is DML? DML is data manipulation language. Apex DML is used to create, update, or delete records in Salesforce. Sorry for typo. It's retrieve. I not aware how we can use to retrieve. How we can use DML to retrieve. It must be. We can retrieve it via socket. DML operations, actually, the DML operations are the one where we do everything. We want to commit anything to database. What I mean is we want to save the data in database, either insert or update or anything or delete. It, this type of operation generates event. Event means it triggers, workflows, or Apex triggers or flows or anything. DML operations, we have insert, update, delete, undelete, upsert. Insert means you want to create a new record in Salesforce database. You want update means you want to update a particular record or particular records in database providing its IDs. Delete if you want to delete it. Undelete means you want to undelete any soft deleted record. And upsert is, you can say, one of the best thing we have. It finds the record. If it exists in the system, it just updates it. And if it doesn't find any record with the matching criteria which you provide, like a field external ID, it creates a new one. Example of insert statement is written here. We'll do hands-on later. Here we have the description of each DML type and its use case. Let me just do check one thing. Let's do hands-on. If we don't have here, we have, yeah, it's a basic example of how you write, how you use update or upsert statement or any DML statement in Salesforce. Then we have modifying records with DML. Let's do some hands-on here. Oh my God, we cannot copy it. I have to write it. No problem. So we have species where we are retrieving the data from database, and we are asking Salesforce to bring select ID from species where name is aloe vera and bring only one. We have applied limits. That's why we haven't uh, taken any list. We are just taking a simple instance variable, or you can say one instance. Then we are creating a new plant. Let me just do it. Uh, Species. It's good to take a list because sometimes it gives error and it's not good. So you can say with the precautionary uh, programming technique, we use lists if we only want one species as well. In either case, we use list. Select ID from species where name is aloe vera. We are applying limit 1, and then we have plant underscore c plant record equal to new plant underscore c. Then plant or description. Oh, sorry, I haven't made description field in it. So I use some other field of plant record dot, let's use acquisition date is equal to date dot today. Plant record dot species underscore c equal to list species zeroth index dot id, means get the id from the element we have on its zeroth index and get the id from it. Insert insert plant rec. We can do like this as well, or we can take a list of plant, and it's good to take a list of plant and add it in it. List plants equal to new list plant underscore c list plants dot add plant record, or we can use this as well. It's better to use this one, like insert, perform operations on list, better to perform DMLs on collections rather than single one, but we can use this as well. So I am commenting that one. Or let's go with this one, no worries. I just want to show, right, like we can do this thing as well. We're going to insert a plant record, uh, unexpected token plant record. What's that? Species must be spelling mistake. Let me check. Edit object. We can go and check under aloe vera, or we can go directly from plants. This one is newly created. Acquisition date is today. The time is 7:37 a.m. EST. Now we are going to update it. What we are going to update? Oh my God, I had to create. Let's update its date, acquisition date. Date dot today. Add days -3 and update the plant record, but I'm afraid this will not work because I have to provide the ID for the plant record. Because to update anything, we have to provide the ID. We have to tell the system, we have to tell the Salesforce which record you want to update. It has updated. Let me just show and see it's 26. Oh, it is updated to 7:23. The other example is delete. Oh my God, we have just created it and now it won't ask to delete. Okay, let's do it. Uh, copy it again. Let's delete it. Delete plant record. Not this one, this one. Either you can do SOQL to bring the record or you can provide the ID. So I am in the example I have, we are doing it via SOQL. I'm doing it by providing ID. Bingo, and it gets deleted. So we have done that. Now we'll see the governor limits. Because Apex work in a multi-tenant architecture, we have to ensure we have to ensure to write optimized code to avoid any limit. We have a limit of 100 SOQL queries per transaction. A transaction means anything that is going, keeping data and hitting to database and coming back. This is called a complete transaction. If there is any uh, validation rule or anything happens, or there's any process fails after saving it to database, some people confuses the transaction with saving or committing. So transaction means it's taking the data, hitting the database, saving it, committing it, and coming back. A complete way is called a transaction. From request to response, we have a limit of 100 SOQL queries. We can maximum have 150 DML statements in one transaction, and we can only have maximum 10,000 rows retrieved by SOQL or 10,000 rows by DML as well. So that's all for today's topic. If you have any question, we have some Apex Basic and database trailhead. The links are already provided here. So that's, and thank you. If you have any question, we can talk on it.
Thank you, Zenbhai. I don't think there are any questions in the chat. We can wait for 2 to 3 minutes. If there are any questions, we can answer them. Else we can wrap this up. It was an amazing
Sure.
session, no doubt,
Thank
as
you for
usual.
providing me this chance to work for the community. Thank you.
Thank you for thank you for this. Like, what should I say? Okay, I don't think there are any questions, and so I think we can wrap this up.
Sure, we can wrap it up. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a nice
I think
weekend.
there is one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, no, there are two.
Is there any other way to accomplish the limitation of joins in SOQL? Tosif Ahmed, yes, there are some ways we can do it. We can write inline queries. We have an option of using subquery in Apex as well. Like if you want to, let me just share my screen again. But I mean, there are multiple ways to do it. You can say it's a limitation or it's a way Salesforce works. So yes, you can do it. You can do it via relationship by inline queries or by upper. You can say use relationship. You can go 5 level up in a relationship as well in a circle. Salam Zain bhai, walaikum salam, Muhammad Ali bhai. How do you go about the scenario where a list can hold 50,000 records but DML can only do 10,000 records? I will go for if I will have this scenario, I'll go for batch, or I will split the transaction by checking the heap size limits, or I will definitely go for batch. Uh, Muhammad Ali bhai. What's the recommended approach for this accomplishment in DML operation? What's the recommended approach for this accomplishment in DML operations? Sorry, I didn't get your question, Tosif Ahmed. Can you please ask again?
I think he is referring to the to his old question.
Yeah, but his old question was about joins in SOQL to retrieve the data in the code we just saw. For this accomplishment in DML operation. Acha, if you are asking about what we should use, uh, like to get the data from SOQL, yes, we should retrieve the data from SOQL to perform update. We have to provide ID of that record to do the update or delete the record, and to perform DML, the recommended approach from Salesforce is always use use collections, like use list or map.values, but it's good to avoid performing DMLs on single records. It's always a best practice to perform DMLs on collections, list or map. No problem. तो Asif Ahmed bhai,
Awesome.
thank you for asking the question, and thank you for asking the question again, मेरे प्यारे मोहम्मद सिद्दीकी भाई. It's been long time. Thank you, Sneh. Thanks for
Thank you,
joining
sir.
us.
And yeah, you guys can also unmute yourself and just ask questions as well, because I've made all of you as presenter. So I think that would be good as well, like in the upcoming sessions. So yeah, I think we are good. And thank you, Zain Bhai, again. Like I know we need more senior people like you in the community, in the sessions, in the trainings. So I really appreciate it, and you know how I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
So
Ramsha.
yeah, just wanted to make a quick announcement here. So, guys, we are going to start Salesforce Marketing Cloud training in a few days. I will also announce on the WhatsApp community. So, when I share the post, please do share with your groups, with your other peers or colleagues in your companies. Thank you so much. Thank you, Zinbari.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend, guys. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.